Welcome, everyone. Oh, and just like that, I get an email as soon as we go on the air. Trey Profesh. You guys, welcome to Singular Sensation, our online live stream broadcast, me living my broadcast journalist dream. Thank you all for joining us tonight. That was Voices Rocks Canada and their female physician choir. You guys, that choir was made up entirely of female physicians, and we are going to welcome Cheryl Bauer, who is behind this wonderful, wonderful choir. Hello, Cheryl. Look at you. You look gorgeous.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for sharing that beautiful and inspiring video. Tell us about how, I know it's part of Voices Rocks Canada with our friend Anthony Bastionat, but this particular choir, tell us the story behind this.
This choir started one of my Voices Rock Canada started as a children's choir, and one of my kids has a mother whose father joined my adult version choir, which is VR Ensemble, and the mom came to us, and she had wanted to join as well, but she was a busy physician and they couldn't connect coming to the adult choir. So she came to me one day last 2019 March and said, do you think you would be interested in putting a choir together of physicians? And Anthony was a little bit skeptical at the time because he thought, like how can this come together? But this girl was just an incredible networker. And our pilot project happened in September of 2019. And we had 35 female physicians from across the GTA that were there. And it's just been an incredible journey for them. Like they're really, really busy. A lot of them are young with, young kids, and they needed a place to de-stress, and none of them knew each other. None of them could barely sing. But Anthony believes that everyone can sing. As you probably know this already.
Sounds like him, yeah.
And so very slowly our pilot project took off, and in a matter of 10 weeks, these doctors had learned off book 8 songs, and we had a big concert in December. And in December, the concert was a dedication to Dr. Alana Frick, who had been tragically killed by her husband. And so as a result of that, we got a ton of media attention to the doctors as well. And then we started Voices Rock Medicine. It transferred from what do you call it? Medicine for the Soul was the pilot project, and then transferred to Voices Rock Medicine, and then COVID hit. So we've been online, and that video was done obviously virtually. And so, yeah, do you have any other questions?
Of course. So you guys were featured on Stronger Together by Rick Mercer.
Yes.
brought you to the producer's attention, which is incredible. That was a beautiful evening, and how wonderful to be included in that. Such a celebration of how resilient our medical community and our performance community really are in bringing the world through this in different ways, but in such important ways. And who knew that being part of this choir would be so important to kind of having a balance and an outlet during a time like this for people right on the front lines.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been they say it's the one highlight of the week, because they're, you know, as you can imagine, their stress level right now is over the top. A lot of them aren't even living at home because they're in the hospitals, so they're in the emergency room, and it's just a lot of stress for them. So they have this 1.5 hours a week, culminating into our final rehearsal, which is tonight. And they get to just de-stress and be with each other. And it's become a very loving and warm community. And, you know, they adore each other. And, you know, it's really, they adore Anthony, which...
Which to know him is to love him, and bless him. Yes. Well, I mean, the importance of community right now is what is, I think, getting a lot of people through the world right now. And I thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm not going to keep you. I know you got to get to rehearsal and say hello to all of those incredible women. Please give our love and thanks on our behalf. We're so grateful, and it was so good to talk with you, Cheryl. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jenny. See you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Goodness, the power of music. Am I right? I'm right. I'm not right all that often. I'm not going to lie, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. You guys, be sure to follow us on Instagram at @singular_sensation and share your encouraging words to our community, to the front lines. There's a lot going on in the world. The world is a quite a place right now. And hopefully tonight we're going to have some meaningful conversations, share some inspirational music, and come together as a community. Speaking of community, you may know this fellow, Mr. Jeremy Webb, the artistic director of Neptune Theatre and the host of Off the Leash. And we are so very, very lucky to be joined by the man himself, Mr. Jeremy Webb. Hello.
Hello.
You're on the other side of the table tonight. How's that feel?
It's really cool, because I've been sitting watching you do all the work and being backstage in this same platform. I'm like, this is what it's like. It's so relaxing.
Oh, good. Well, we're here to rest and revive. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know you are busy running Neptune Theatre and keeping that community so connected through Off the Leash, which I got to tell you, you are such a fabulous host. You are so authentic and genuine and warm and supportive and enthusiastic. And I think you're right. Cogsworth is quite underrated in Beauty and the Beast, and needs a bit more screen time. You know what I mean?
You mean this fella?
That fella right there. That is the one. Oh, yeah. So listen, as an artistic director, you know, we as actors really look to our artistic directors, our producers as sources of you know, support and information and leadership. And how are you, as that kind of leadership head, how are you managing right now? How are things on your side of the table?
On my side of the gurney.
Yeah.
You know, I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm not going to lie, it's tough, but we are in a blessed, privileged position. All of us across the country that are holding these positions year round, we're in a blessed position that we get to do this for a living, right? And so I think we all feel a sense of responsibility to the artists that we engage and that right now are suffering. So, you know, certainly our main concern is the audience, is to get us all back to work just as soon as we are allowed safely. But also it's to help the artists through this time as much as we can, and do whatever we need to do that's within our our ability. So it's not easy. It's pretty bleak. We're all facing a troublesome time. Our industry, as you know, is suffering. And sometimes, we need to. I mean, I just took a week off, which was strange because I didn't really do much different. Anything different, but
that doesn't surprise me.
yeah, I got out of this basement. That's what I did. But
that's good.
But it was for me, it was a little mental health break to take a week off after 10 weeks of doing this kind of work and trying to plan for the unplannable, which is what we're all doing right now. And all of the artistic directors are in communication, certainly weekly, if not more. A lot of packed meetings where we all sit there in little boxes on Zoom meetings, staring at each other, saying, what are we going to do? When do we, how do we, what do we, so it's a tough time, but it's not as tough as it is for a lot of people in the world right now. So I say it's a tough time with a real knowledge that, it's not that tough. It's tough, but people are suffering a lot more than we are right now.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, the world's a strange place right now. How are you, Jeremy, finding that balance between the world and the work? What are you doing for yourself to kind of mix that up and keep all of this?
Yeah, well, I've said it a couple of times that doing my show, doing Off the Leash, we started it quite early on, I think. I don't know exactly how many weeks. It's all blurry, but certainly it's 7 or 8 weeks, I think. And I took a week off, which helped. And now we're going back with season 2, as we're now calling it, for no reason other than it seems cool.
I mean, it feels that way.
That show, and you'll probably find this too after a period of time, it gives you a sense of purpose. And it certainly gave me something to aim for every day. It was a reason to put on grown-up clothes rather than just pajamas. It was a reason not just to sit and watch Netflix and eat chips, which I do after the show, but not to do it all evening. And it gave me tangible results. There were guests to look after. There were questions to plan, and then afterwards we could see what the results were. We could see the audience numbers. So in a way, it's keeping me personally afloat, and most importantly, it's keeping us in contact with our artists and with our supporters and with our audience, and keeping them in touch 4 times a week with what's going on. So as soon as we know something, Off the Leash is where we share it first.
And I think that's incredible to keep the community close and connected, and it really shows just how much you really care about your community. And Neptune is known for its creative and boundary pushing casting and concepts, and you are so much to thank for that, and you are such a leader on that front. Was that your goal coming into Neptune? I mean, we got a couple of little things here. We've got our beautiful Cinderella, and you sent us some beautiful photos. This is my favorite. This one here, I mean,
that's after a special performance that we added to the schedule of Cinderella, and of course Samantha Walk's there playing Cinderella in our holiday show 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, I guess. And we managed to find a lot of angels in our community who clubbed together to basically pay for an entire auditorium of children to see the show for free. And these were kids that go to schools that usually don't get to Neptune, don't come to Neptune. And a lot of them from the Black community who were able to see themselves reflected on the Neptune stage very early on in their lives. And the goal there and the joy there, and that day was very emotional, was seeing them react to seeing Samantha play what is usually a white role, and play it so well. and do an amazing job and see themselves. And there were lots of kids there saying, you know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be up there. And I was like, well, don't rush into that, kid. But it's wonderful that is now on your radar, or just the joy of seeing themselves was great. I actually said it was just after that photo was taken, actually, I was going back up in the elevator and I said, you know, if they fire me tomorrow, and this was about a year into my contract, they fire me tomorrow, I'm fine, because this was the day.
That's incredible, and that's so important for them to be able to see themselves and to go outside of what we traditionally think of.
Yeah.
We see those classic roles, and that's so important. And you guys are so incredible at being such a visionary that way of having.
I want to argue with you a little bit, because I don't. I get a little embarrassed when somebody says something like that, because I don't think I'm doing that much different to what other people are doing across the country. Certainly, yes, we are taking steps, and it is part of our vision here at Neptune that we developed, that we decided to enhance and to really go for a couple of years ago. And we are by no means perfect. We screw up all the time, and we learn from it. And we will continue to do that, and certainly for as long as I'm the AD. So it's important work, and it's the only work, really, I think, that has to be done.
Thank you for that.
I'm sorry to disagree with you on your own show.
That's what this show is all about. Different perspectives and having that meaningful conversation. And I by no means know everything, and I'm not perfect either. So I so welcome that conversation. Speaking of conversations, the reason we met was through this lady right here. We got Ms. Kelly Holliff. Another friend of the show, Joseph Zeta. And this is from Peter Pan recently.
Yeah, bless them both. Joseph Zeta is a joy. Kelly Holliff's okay. Joseph Zeta is
I'm gonna there for
Excuse me?
I will never work at Neptune Theater after this.
No. The funny thing was, as you started talking about Kelly, I thought, they're not going to do that thing that we all do on these shows and have her waiting.
Yeah, they did.
Kelly,
so
you brushed your hair tonight.
Oh. Listen, I didn't shower, so don't take it too well. Hi.
So Kelly, you played Captain Hook.
I sure did. I unless it was a dream. I don't know.
It was a dream.
Yeah. And how was that? And what was the so after the show, do you go out and generally greet the audience, or is there like a stage door situation? I'm so interested in how I as a young girl would have rather have been Hook than Wendy. So for me to have seen that on stage would have been so cool.
It was very cool. It was such a unique experience. They didn't have anything like particularly set up specifically for characters to come out after, but a lot of kids would wait around. And that's something I also enjoy. I know you enjoy that too, Jenny, is like seeing the kids after the show and the adults. So when I felt like I wasn't gonna pass out after the show, I would go out to the front, and it was amazing that the little girls and all of the children that would greet me with an "R," like there was never a question about who I was. They all did this, and it was, I don't know, it was very special, really, really cool.
They also recognized you because we decided we hire Kelly Holliff for that mane of hair, and then we stuck her in a wig that looks just like that mane of hair.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So what happened was Jeremy's really good at like catering to your strengths. And
And
I
which is in fact what I'll be doing soon if we don't get the industry going again.
yeah, take me with you.
Yeah.
So I believe that I'm very, very highly skilled at hairography. So we were doing a lot of that in the rehearsals, but they realized that I was also playing Mrs. Darling. They wanted Mrs. Darling to have more of a Victorian look, and it was too quick to have my own hair then get to a wig. So that's why they did that. Yeah, which made sense.
I have
Well,
that wig on the wall in my office now as a souvenir.
I believe you. You probably wear it a few times a day.
It's been 10 weeks.
and that was okay. And this has been fun. No, Kelly, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. I love you very much. And thank you
I love
for
you.
introducing Jeremy and I. I appreciate it so much. And I love you very much.
I love you too.
Oh,
And she's gone.
she's gone. Listen, it's here. I mean, we don't want to make it all about Kelly Hall, for goodness sake.
No.
Thank you for embracing that moment. I don't normally like to put people on the spot, but I just couldn't.
No, I love it.
Resist it.
We actually joke that we're all going to get tattoos with hashtag hooked on Holliff on our lower backs.
Listen,
Why
I support it. I'll get another one just to have it.
There you go. Oh yeah, there you go.
Well, listen, Jeremy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and for your honesty and your, genuine conversation. And I so appreciate it. And we so appreciate what you're doing with Off the Leash and all the work you're doing at Neptune. And it's so great to have met you and to get to chat.
Likewise, it's been so much fun, and thank you for participating. We did a show, for those people watching your show that don't know, we did a show about Belle, the character of Belle, of course, which you've played, and we actually gathered, I think it was 11 or 12 Belles from across the country who all participated in one episode of Off the Leash, and they all spoke about their memories, and thank you for participating in that. It was a fun one to do.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was just a couple short years ago. That's where Kelly Holliff and I met.
All right.
And became fast friends. She was a teapot. I looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid going to the prom. That I almost tumbled down the stairs in that dress. Bless. But it's a magical moment for, I think, any performer to play. So thank you for the invitation to revisit that. It was a beautiful episode. The universality of theater and the roles we play is quite magical.
And keep up the good work with this show. It's so much fun. I'm gonna keep watching.
And likewise, Off the Leash, I'm a big fan. So I'm glad we could do this. Thank you so much, Jeremy. You take care.
Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Jeremy Webb. Beautiful. My gosh. Okay, listen. This show is also about sign-up performances. For those of you who didn't join us in our physical show, we were around for about 9 years as a live open mic. And we had signups, we had a clipboard, and we passed it around. And we didn't want to lose that part of the show. So we are still having sign-up performances. They sign up online. We pick them the day before. It's almost like a live open mic. And I want to introduce our very first sign-up tonight. We have Haley. Hi, Haley.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well, all things considered.
Look at that shirt. Love it.
Foreshadowing.
Hey, I dig it. I dig it. So listen, how are you? How are you enjoying the day-to-day? How are you holding up?
A lot of joy in connecting with people who bring me joy. I think my big thing has been building up a strong community with like family and friends and all that stuff, and just like, finding joy in the little things, in music, in my friends, in being outside. I have a lot of sunburns right now because I'm just like embracing that sunshine and taking every day that I can. So that's how I would say.
Well, I am so glad you're joining us. And you are currently working overnights in the ER.
Yes, I am working as a COVID-19 screener at the hospital in Burlington. So I am the first person that people talk to when they come into the hospital, asking them screening questions, escorting patients to appointments who can't have family members come in with them, kind of crowd control, I would say, of who's coming in and out of the hospital right now.
And how are you balancing that? That's some heavy stuff. That's some heavy stuff right now.
Yeah, it's been a very eye-opening experience. Obviously, never having worked in healthcare before. But that's also been another thing that's made me kind of feel the sense of purpose and almost calm during this pandemic, is knowing that I'm doing what I can to help people. Whether it's just, escorting 80-year-old Marge to her appointment because her husband can't come in, or talking to a kid who's in the emergency room who's really scared of the mask that they have to put on, and just like using the skills that I've learned through performance and through connecting and empathizing with people, and trying to bring those into an environment that's honestly really scary for a lot of people right now. A lot of people walk in and they're very, very scared to be there. And I try to just make that experience a little bit easier.
That's incredible. Thank you for doing that, because you're right. It is a scary time. It's an uncertain time, and to have such a warm, smiling, beautiful energy like yourself to offer comfort is so important. So thank you for doing that and offering your time and your beautiful light. That is so special, Haley. And you're gonna sing for us. What are you gonna do for us tonight? Yeah.
What am I singing? Is that I'm gonna be singing "Stupid with Love" from Mean Girls, because
you are.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
Exactly, because I love comedy.
Exactly. Well, listen, Haley, you take it away.
Awesome, thanks. When I was 5, I fell in love. It didn't last. He ran from me, literally ran from me. And believe me, he ran fast. When I was 10, in love again, this Peace Corps guy. I waited hours inside his tent of flowers, which made him laugh, which made me cry. By 13, I gave up trying. I decided I would be a mathematician, 'cause math is real. I memorized a lot of pi, because addition and subtraction and division would never make me feel so stupid with love. Like I didn't get it. I didn't get it somehow. Smart with math, but stupid with love. I didn't get it. I didn't get it till now. So thank you, math, for being there to bring me joy. And thank you, math, 'cause now you've brought me this cute boy. He's like someone from TV. He's like that guy who gives out roses to those women. His clothes, his grooming, and he's a foot away from me with swoopy hair and shiny eyes that I can swim in. He's living in the room, and I'm stupid with love. I wanna get it. I wanna get it, but how? Smart with math, but stupid with love. I didn't get it. I didn't get it till now. I'm astounded and nonplussed. I am filled with calculus. Does the sky work out? He must so sweaty at the gym. Could that image be more hot? Let me just enjoy that thought. School was rough, but now it's not. 'Cause now there's him. It's all so simple, stupid with love, but I can get it. Watch this girl self-educate. I learned math so I can learn love. You wanna bet it? That I can get it? Just wait. Just wait. Just wait.
Haley, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Now, I know you got to get off to work, which is why we had you on early.
Yes.
So you keep spreading that beautiful bright light, my dear sweet girl, and we wish you all the best and send you all the safe and healthy vibes.
Thank you. Oh, something's starting. Thank you.
And on the track. Okay, we will see you soon. Stay safe.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Guys, it's crazy. It's crazy what people in our community are able to offer in these crazy times. And everyone that is working on the front lines, in the grocery stores, we're opening things up even more now. And it's so important now more than ever to stay safe and to be considerate and to be a community and to take care of each other. And it feels difficult some days more than others, but we just have to keep doing what we're doing and keep doing our part. And now we're going to introduce a new segment onto the show. It is called COVID Cocktails, and we are joined by Isolation Cocktails host Matt Lacas and his co-host Rosie Callaghan. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you very much.
How are
Hi.
you doing?
You know, doing okay. All things considered, I don't have any complaints.
Hey, listen, that's a good place to be. That's a very, very good place to be. So listen, you recently announced that you have an episode, a show called Isolation Cocktails.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, no problem. Rosie and I. So Rosie, say hi.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
She's the camera woman, my stage manager, my producer, my everything on this show, creative consultant, everything. For Isolation Cocktails, which was this idea we had way back in March. We did it for 30 days straight. Where on Instagram, I taught people how to make cocktails because I was bored. Because like Jeremy Webb said, it was nice to have like a routine every night at 9 p.m. And then one thing led to another. Some people found out about it. And now we've kind of sold the idea to a couple companies. And it's getting close to paying rent. So that's kind of crazy.
That's amazing. I mean, leave it to you to find an opportunity during these crazy times. Well done. And you are going to make a drink for us tonight, just for us.
Yes, absolutely. I was so happy and thrilled that you invited us on because a lot of the people who are here tonight are those people who in those first 30 days of Isolation Cocktails were there in the comments section on our live feed, choosing the drinks we were making them with us. So I'm super happy to either make drinks with those people again or now introduce this show to more people. So
amazing.
Right now, what we're going to make really, really quickly is a super simple drink that everyone can make at home, whether it's tonight or later. If you're interested on the cocktail list itself, please go to my personal Instagram page, is that Matt Lacas, or is _that_Matt Lacas. But the drink tonight is going to be called the Bee's Knees. It's a Prohibition era cocktail, 1928 to 1934. That's the Prohibition, something like that. Super, super simple. Those cocktails back then were made with mostly 3 ingredients, usually a sweetener, a really, really crappy version of an alcohol because they were making alcohol in bathtubs, and then some kind of soda or something to even hide the flavor a little more. So for tonight's cocktail, what you're going to need is you're going to need your gin. It's a gin-based cocktail, the Bee's Knees. I'm using La Violette, which is a herbal infused gin, which you can find at the LCBO. But if you got things like Hendrick's, Tanqueray, Bushmill, not Bushmill, that's a whiskey, not that one. You can use those by all means. You will need honey. This is the sweetener we're using. This is one of the first cocktails to ever introduce honey into a cocktail, similar to a hot toddy. Honey is being used. And then this does classify as a sour. So we are going to use some lemon juice. Always try and use fresh lemons if you get the chance. So first things first, we're going to take our tin, and I didn't prep quick enough, but we're going to need to put some ice in said tin. So go ahead and drop those in there. There you have it. You're going to need 2 ounces of your gin. Whenever we're making cocktails here, folks, you want to find what the hero is of your cocktail. For this one, the hero is the gin. So things like Hendrick's, which use cucumber and rose, are going to just explode in this cocktail because it's kind of what we're highlighting. So 2 ounces is your average shot glass. If you go to a bar and you ask for a shot, you will get 1 ounce. But that's just restaurants cheating you and making you pay a lot of money for not a lot of alcohol. But if you have shot glasses at home, they're probably 2 ounces. So 2 ounces go in. Following that, we're going to use 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. And it is a kind of bit of a sour, but the honey really does kick it up a notch. So what you're going to need for your honey is you're going to have to make honey syrup. Now, it might sound complicated, but it's super not. What I have here in this mug is just some honey and some boiling water. because if you use honey in a cold drink, the honey's going to stick to the bottom of the glass. It's not going to mix within the actual cocktail, and you're just going to get this lump of honey at the bottom of your glass. So using boiling water to get it to be less viscous and more liquid is going to go a long way. Totally up to you how much honey you put in it. I would suggest about 1/2 ounce to 3/4, but totally up to taste. So let's just pour that in. I like mine a little bit, so I actually put a full ounce of honey. In we go. Now we've got all 3 ingredients ready to go. Slap on your top. Give this bad boy a shake. Now a lot of people will ask, how do you know when to stop shaking your cocktail shaker? How do you know that everything is working? When you start getting a nice condensation on your tin and it's too cold to hold, that's about the right time in terms of how long you want to shake something. So right now we're integrating all the ingredients. We're getting air into our lemon juice and letting that activate as well. That should be long enough. Get that top right off. Always chill your glasses first. So whether that's a martini glass, a rocks glass, whatever, just make sure that you put some ice in there prior. You always want to have a nice, fresh, cold glass. Just kind of elevates all cocktails, really. And here we have it, folks. We're just going to go ahead and strain this bad boy in. Should have a nice kind of see-through yellow color. And for garnish is always depends on what goes in the cocktail. So the fact that we use lemon, go ahead and get yourself a lemon twist, which is just a piece of rind twisted around a straw. And there you have it, folks. The bee's knees. I cheers to everyone at home drinking, and to you, Jenny, and the fantastic team at Singular Sensation.
Thank you, Matt. That sounds delicious and looks beautiful.
Yeah, I know. I try. Cocktailing's part of, it's the restaurant business, right? You got to impress people.
I'm very impressed, and as our audience members. Now, listen, Matt, you have something that you are working on that you are announcing right now, right here tonight.
Absolutely. Singular Sensation premiere announcement. Everyone who's here tonight will hear it first. And then it'll be kind of thrown out a little later tonight. But Robert Stephen Wilkinson, who is an MD in the community, was out in India doing teaching, recently came back due to COVID, and reached out to me a couple nights ago after everything that's been going on with the killing of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement that's really pushed this week, and we've seen all these protests and things of that nature, came to me saying, hey, I want to do something. Can you and We Are Here Productions help? And I said, absolutely, I would love to. So with Robert's help, we're putting up a charity event called Speak Out Louise. It is a musical theater pub quiz night, which is going to highlight and attempt to educate people on the underrepresented Black artists on Broadway and people of color. And it's going to be a fun night. We have 2 time slots, a 2 p.m. and a 7 p.m. because Robert's got a ton of connections in the UK, a ton of connections in India. And we want this to be, we want to get as many different people in here because part of this conversation is education. And we want this to be a night where we all come together and we get to enjoy each other's company, have a drink, have a little friendly competition, but also we're going to learn about all of these wonderful artists that we should already know about. But in case we don't, I think it's really a great time to educate ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
All the money will go to the Black Lives Matter charity, their national branch. And June 6th, which is a Saturday. 2 times. So we hope to see you there.
Wonderful. Matt, thank you so much. You can find all of the information on our Facebook group and on our Instagram, and how to get tickets and how to get involved. Matt and Rosie, thank you so much for the cocktail and for the wonderful work you're doing. And we really appreciate you spending some time with us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jenny.
Take care. Bye. So recently we were introduced to a group, actually a show called Canadian Families Got Talent. And the winners were from my theater school and our community. They are called Season, and they are going to be joining us tonight. However, we're not so much talking to them about their win on the show, but what they are doing with the platform that they now have. And we're going to talk to them about this video.
People killing, people dying, children hurting, hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach? Would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us. Send some guidance from above. People got me questioning. Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? The love, the love.
Hey, it's time to come together, y'all. We can't be silent. Raise your voices.
And that was Season, and we are joined by CJ, Seth, and Matthew. Guys, welcome to the show. It's so good to meet you all.
Thanks for having us.
And congratulations. Oh, it's absolutely our pleasure. And congratulations on the win of the show. That's crazy. Like, how was that whole experience? Tell us about it.
Well, I think we didn't really think too much of the competition. We just like saw it as a chance to get our music out there. And I remember Seth was like, "Yeah, why don't we just do it? You know, like why don't we just submit?" And then obviously here we are. Yeah.
And you guys are. Yeah, who knew? It's so funny. It's the ones you don't put pressure on yourself that are like the biggest opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just with the flow.
Yeah, motivated by just an authentic desire to do the thing. I love that. And so you guys are Sheridan students.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're quarantining together. I see.
Yes, ma'am. We're making music.
Yeah, how's that all going? So you're making more music together. That's great.
Yeah. It's been great actually. Just kind of having like a space, and like we have to stay inside, right? So we're just like always in that creative space. So it's pretty cool.
That's very cool. I love that. And that video that we just showed was beautiful. And what an incredible way to use the platform that now you have with the awareness, with the win on the show and the voices that you have, and you're so aware of having that opportunity. I think that's so wonderful that you chose to make a statement with that.
Yeah. I think it's like super important for us. Just like moving forward, even with the platform that we'll have, because everyone's voice has so much power, and if we can inspire people with our music to use their voices and create change, then we're on a pretty good track. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you guys so much for doing that and for using your voices to take a stand and to say something so meaningful. And people can find you on Instagram right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and find all your music and all the incredible stuff you guys are doing together. And I guess once the world is right, you're heading on down to hang out with Simon Cowell.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna keep spreading love. You know, that's our message. We just want everyone to love each other all the time.
Well, guys, congratulations and thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing and spreading the love and continuing to do so. And it was so nice to meet you all. Stay safe, take care, and keep making that amazing music together.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Bye for now. Well, guys, so like I said before, things feel a bit off in the world, a bit more than they did before. And we're seeing a lot of things online, and there's a lot of inequality and injustice that we're really seeing because so much of social media is on top of us right now. And a lot of the things I've read is, yeah, it's uncomfortable, and it should be. And I'll tell you, putting today's show together, I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard to know what to say and what to do. And we hope that we're able to use our voice, much like the guys that we just talked to, use our voices to bring awareness and education and inspiration to learn and open your minds and And it's okay to maybe not know how to feel right now. And a lot of us are kind of all up in our feelings, to quote a friend of ours. And it's okay. We have a lot of thinking to do and a lot of work to do in the world. And I wanted to share this next video from a friend of ours. And he was having some, just sorting through all the things that are happening right now, and we wanted to share it because we thought it was really important to share this. So I'd like to introduce you to our friend Chris. Well, not introduce you, he's not here in person, but this is a piece done by our dear friend Chris Sugiuchi.
I know you have questions, the same ones as me. How long has it been? How long will it be? When will come the morning to drive the night away? Tell me, when will come the morning of a brighter day? Patience, little sister. Patience, little brother. Let us walk together. Take each other by the hand. Me and all my friends, we are all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's hard to beat the system when we're standing at a distance. We keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. Oh, patience, little sister. Patience, little brother. Together to the promised land. Oh, and we're still waiting, waiting on the world to change. We're still waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's hard to beat the system when we're standing at a distance, but we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. Oh, patience, little sister. Patience, little brother. One day our generation is gonna rule the population. But we're still waiting, waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world
We want to thank Chris Ujiuchi for sharing that and for letting us share it today. If you're able to donate, if you're able to join a peaceful protest, to stand in solidarity, to use your voice, to use our privilege, to use our platform, it's heavy, man. Guys, it's heavy. And we have a job to do. And we can lift our voices and join our voices and do what we can. The world needs to be better, and we can be part of that. We're going to post some resources on our Facebook group and through our social media to learn how you can lend your voice, lend your presence, and be part of the change that the world needs so much right now. And it's okay to be a mess and fall apart, because the world feels like a big fucking heavy mess right now. But it means that you know that change is coming, and change has to happen, and that things need to be different. So let's move on to our next guest, but not forget this feeling. This heavy feeling means we know that we have to change things. And our next guest is doing her part to offer support to the front lines. She has an event she is heading called Songs for Scrubs. It is a cabaret coming up on June 6th. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jocelyn. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm very good. I'm just going to do, just to sync your mouth back up to the to the sound. Technology, we're all still learning, you know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
And you're producing a whole show. You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, and all over Zoom. Crazy.
Amazing. Okay, we're going to try. Okay, there we go. So, Jocelyn, how are you finding light and joy in the world right now? I know it's tough, but how are you finding a balance and finding some light?
It is tough right now, just the way that the world is. I've found, I've had to put down the phone, get off social media for a bit every day, so it's not like overwhelming. But I did just purchase actually a Disney coloring book from Amazon. It's one for grown-ups, and that has brought me a lot of joy in the last week. And I didn't really expect it to bring that much, but it's so nice to just kind of like shut my brain off for a bit.
Amazing. You got to do, sometimes you just got to take a minute. So tell us about Songs for Scrubs. What inspired you to put this event together?
So Songs for Scrubs, it's a digital cabaret benefiting the Frontline Fund. So it was early May, and I'd kind of gotten out of that lockdown leg, but I was still feeling pretty bummed just with the state of things. And I ended up reading a post, and it was written by a nurse who was working in New York City in the ICU with critical COVID-19 patients. And it was harrowing. It was tough to read. And afterwards, I just sat there, and it just kind of, I knew that I had to do something. And clearly, I don't have the skill set to contribute to like a cure to this virus. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a scientist. So it really kind of forced me to step back and kind of go, okay, so these are the skills that I have. How can I help? How can I use them to help? So eventually the idea came about that I would organize some sort of cabaret through social distancing. We would put it up and we would encourage people to make a donation to an organization that can make a difference, that can actually, help make the change we'd like to see when it comes to COVID-19.
I think that's incredible. And again, it's doing what you can with what you have. And I think it's beautiful that you are doing exactly that. And tell us about the show itself. Who is performing in the show with you?
So the show itself, there's 9 of us. I just kind of reached out to a couple of friends. We're actually all graduates from St. Clair College's musical theater program. And so I reached out. We have Jade McLeod, Melinda Carroll. We've got just a lovely, lovely group of people, and they're all insanely talented, crazy talented. I loved listening to them at school. I love listening to them now. And we've got a wide variety. You know, we have some musical theater songs, we have some pop songs, we have some rock, we have Disney, we have Canadian artists. So it really is going to be just such a lovely variety.
Amazing. And we have one of the performers joining us today as well, Jade McLeod. Welcome.
Hello. Oh.
So you are going to be part of this beautiful show that's coming up on June the 6th.
I am. I'm very excited.
Amazing. Amazing. So, Jocelyn, thank you so much for joining us and talking about the show. And we wish you all the best. We're going to post all about it again on our Facebook group and on our social media outlets so that everyone can watch the show and contribute if they're able to. And well done. Thank you for spreading the love and the light and supporting in the ways that you can.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My absolute pleasure. We will talk to you soon. Jade McLeod. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Now, we were supposed to do a cabaret at the 120 Diner.
We were. And I'm sad that it didn't happen, but I'm glad that this is happening in its stead. So,
you know, we're going to keep on as well as we can. And I'm so glad that you're able to join us tonight. And you're going to do a number that you're going to be doing at the show. In the show.
I
am.
Show. Yes.
We're figuring it out. Great.
Well, yeah, so I'm doing Dog Days by Florence, because it's a song about letting go of the bad stuff and having the courage to kind of move forward into a brighter future, which I think is something we could all use right now.
I think so too. Jade McLeod, take it away.
I'd like to dedicate this to everybody who's risking their lives fighting for our future, and especially my mom as a paramedic. Happiness hit her like a train on a track, coming towards her, stuck still, no turning back. She hid around corners and she hid on beds. She killed it with kisses, and from it she fed. With every bubble she sank with a drink and washed it away down the kitchen sink. The dark days are over, the dark days are done. The horseman's coming, so you better run. Run fast for your mother, run fast for your father, run for your children, for your sisters and brothers. Leave all you love and you longing behind. You can't carry it with you if you want to survive. The dark days are over and the dark days are done. Can you hear the horses? 'Cause here they come. And I never wanted anything from you except everything you have and what was left after that too. Happiness hit her like a bullet in the back, struck from a great height by someone who should know better than that. The dark days are over, the dark days are done. Can you hear the horses? 'Cause here they come. Run fast. mother, run fast for your father, run for your children, for your sisters and brothers. Leave all your love and your longing behind. You can't carry it with you if you want to survive. The dog days are over, the dog days are over. Can you hear the horses? 'Cause we are waiting. The dog days are over. The dog days are done. The horses are coming in, so you better run.
Jade McLeod, girl, that was stunning. Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing that and for being part of Songs for Scrubs. And it's no live cabaret, but listen, it's so good to see you and hear your voice, and thank you for lending your voice to such an important cause. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and
Thanks.
us.
Oh, my pleasure. You stay safe and take care.
Will do.
Bye, sweetheart. Well, friends, we are up for our next sign-up performer. He is a friend of ours from Sheridan College and just graduated. And I would like to bring him on screen, Devin Alexander. Hi, friend. How are you?
Good. I'm just chilling.
Chilling, dancing, doing a few dances at Starbucks and keeping everybody's smiling face smiling.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, my downstairs neighbors probably weren't smiling super big today because I decided to do a little tap dancing in my dining room. But, you know, I was smiling, so that's great.
Hey, listen, like I tell people would pay money to see it at a theater, so they're lucky they're getting it for free, even if they don't know what's happening. They could just think the ceiling's about to fall in, but mix it up. Why not mix it up? So what are you doing to find balance in the world right now? I mean, tap dancing and over your neighbors' heads. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, that I've just I've been doing a lot of thinking just about the current state of things, obviously, and where I fit into all of that, and just trying to educate myself moving forward, just so that I can have an opinion on things and know what I'm talking about when the difficult conversations arise. So I've been kind of working on that sort of situation. But in terms of just like regular life and staying sane during COVID-19, I've just been dancing my life away. I've been working a little bit, drinking lots of coffee. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sorry, technical glitch. I wanted to make sure that your audio sank up with your face, and I kicked myself out. Self-love is important. Well, good for you for making the effort and finding balance. And we have Julia Juhas actually coming up after you to talk about the importance of grounding and meditation and checking in and giving us some guidance on how we can do that. So, you know, it's important to do that as best we can, especially with so many things happening around us, trying to stay as centered as possible. And something that brings me a great amount of joy is your beautiful voice. What are you going to sing for us today?
I'm going to be singing Monster from Frozen.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Devin Alexander.
This is going to be weird right now. Give me 2 seconds, my Bluetooth hates me. Emergency powder, there we go. It's finally come to knock down my door. I can't hide this time like I hid before. The storm is awake, the danger is real. My time's running out. Don't feel Fear becomes the enemy and death its consequence. That's what they once said to me, and it's starting to make sense. All this pain, all this fear began because of me. Is the thing they see, the thing I have to be. A monster, were they right? Has the dark in me finally come to light? Am I a monster full of rage? Nowhere to go but on a rampage? Or am I just a monster in a cage? What do I do? No time for crying now. I've started a storm, gotta stop it somehow. Do I keep on running? How far do I have to go? And will that take the storm away or only make it grow? I'm making my world colder. How long can it survive? Is everyone in danger as long as I'm alive? Was I a monster from the start? How did I end up with this frozen heart? Bringing destruction to the stage, caught in a war that I never meant to wage. Do I kill the monster? Father, you know what's best for me. If I die, will they be free? Mother, what if after I'm gone, the cold gets colder and the storm rages on? No, I have to stay alive to fix what I've done, save the world from myself, and bring back the sun. If I'm a monster, then it's true. There's only one thing that's left for me to do. But before I fade to white, I'll do all that I can to make things right. I cannot be a monster. I will not be a monster. Not tonight.
Devin Alexander. Ugh. I look forward to when you will be in Frozen on Broadway.
You know, that's the dream. One day.
Dreams come true, my friend. I mean, listen, I believe.
Gotta get through the pandemic.
Listen, well, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your beautiful voice. And Devin's downstairs neighbors, you're welcome. You just send them my way, honey. Thank you so much for joining us. You stay safe and healthy and keep bringing a little light to the world. You're lovely.
Too.
Okay, goodbye for now.
Bye.
Devin Alexander. What a sweet, sweet, sweet human. All right, you guys, we have an exciting announcement, which is nice. Nice to have something fun to celebrate. This is our first show without a venue, our first show ever in the history of Singular Sensation to not be associated with a venue, which is crazy. But also, we're very excited to announce our new partnership with Heart House Theater. We are going to be doing a segment sponsored by Heart House Theater every episode of Singular Sensation, whether it be featuring a performer or someone from the theater staff or a technician, a designer, an alumni who has gone on to do great things. We are so thrilled to partner with Heart House Theater, and they serve as a creative outlet for emerging artists in a diverse mediums of drama, dance, and music. The theater's unique mix of young professionals, alumni, and students has garnered it a reputation as a cultural destination for the U of T community and for all of Toronto. Simply put, it's a place where you can get your start, be seen, learn, and grow. And I can tell you from personal experience, my very first show in Toronto and my very first lead in a musical was at Hart House Theatre. It was Reefer Madness back in 2000. And since then, I've participated in a number of the shows as an actor and got my start, my first show as a director, directing Heathers the musical. They were ambitious enough to take a chance on a performer who wanted to spread her wings. And they've also given me an opportunity to grow as a designer as well. I got to work on Legally Blonde and as a wig and hair designer. And of course, I got to direct the Rocky Horror Show starring our previous guest tonight, Mr. Chris Sugiuchi. So they are an incredible, incredible organization. And we've featured them many times at both venues of Singular Sensation, bringing their casts in and celebrating their work. And we are so, so thrilled to feature a segment sponsored by Hart House every show this summer on Singular Sensation. And they've got some really great online programs coming up. If you want to check that out, just visit harthousetheatre.ca. Tomorrow, they're offering Get That Grant Money, Grant Writing 101 with Aaron Jan, and that is at 4:30 at the Hart House website. And it is Tuesday, that's tomorrow. Here's the website right here. So if you want to be writing grants, which I think now is a very good time to develop that skill, if you are of the mind of developing new skills during this time of a bit of a break from the world, this is a really, really great resource. We will be posting it after the show tonight in our Singular Sensation group. And we are so, so thrilled to welcome Hart House Theatre on board with Singular Sensation. Speaking of welcoming and wonderful, I'd like to introduce our next guest. Not only is she a fabulous performer, she's a wonderful human being. And I'll tell you, she's been a calming force in my life for many, many years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Julia Juhas. Hello.
Hi.
How are you? Thank you for joining us.
Way back when.
Oh my gosh. It was just a couple short years ago. You know what I mean? we're just gonna do this and make sure that we sync up. Sometimes things get a little off course. Still learning how to work the TV, computer TV. All right, we're gonna try this one more time. Julia, she's speaking of Frozen. She's a little frozen here. Let's see.
Am I frozen?
We got this.
We're good.
Okay, we're gonna try one more time, guys. This is fun. This is fun for not me.
Oh my God, is it me?
No, I think we're okay.
Good internet. I don't know.
You know what?
Should I move? Sometimes I feel like if.
So you know what I think we're gonna do? Oh, there you are. There you are. I think we're okay now. Yeah. So Julia, what are you doing to find balance and light in the world right now?
Well, a few things. My living room dances and kitchen dances. Doing a lot of classes with Mark Kimmelman, who I absolutely adore, and he's so inspiring to be in class with.
Nice. He's coming on our show on the 15th.
Yeah,
so we're going to get to talk to him. We get a lot of shout outs for him on our show, so we're very excited.
Yeah, deserving. He's amazing. And one of the big ones for me, I'm frozen again.
We're going to keep going. We're going to work through it. Luckily, you have been
one of the big ones. The big one for me is my partner and I, we kind of explore a different trail every weekend.
Oh, that's nice.
We try to get to the city. Yeah.
You know what we're going to do, Julia? We're going to bring up our next... You know, we're going to bring up our next sign-up performer. We're going to get you to leave the studio and come back so we can hear you and see you at the same time. Okay? Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Amazing. You're the best. Okay, goodbye. All right, so this is the magic of television, computer television, and I am not an improviser, but I am now. It's my new COVID skill. It's going well. I'm going to bring up our next sign-up performer, Winter. Hello, friend.
Hello.
Hello.
I was going to say welcome, and I realized this is not my show.
Well, it is now. This segment is all yours. How are you finding light?
Yes,
and,
it's all about me.
It's all about you now. It's all about you now. How are you finding balance and a bit of light these days?
I'm doing a lot of writing various things, but also British soap operas.
Oh, very good.
Which,
very good.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just need really bad, chaotic, cheap storylines to get you through a rough week.
Hey, I understand. I just started season 3 of Dynasty this afternoon, so I feel you. But you know what? I think I'm going to turn things over to you because you got something to say.
Oh yeah, I do have something to say. I'd like to propose a toast. Here's to the ladies who lunch. Everybody laugh. Lounging in their caftans and planning a brunch on their own behalf. Off to the gym, then to a fitting, claiming they're fat and looking grim, 'cause they've been sitting, choosing a hat. Does anyone still wear a hat? I'll drink to that. And here's to the girls who stay smart. Aren't they a gas? Rushing to their classes in optical art, wishing it would pass. Another long, exhausting day. Another $1,000. A matinee, a Pinter play. Perhaps a piece of Mahler's. I'll drink to that. And one for Mahler. And here's to the girls who play wife. Aren't they too much? Keeping house but clutching a copy of Life just to keep in touch. The ones who follow the rules, who meet themselves at the schools, too busy to know that they're fools. Aren't they a gem? I'll drink to them. Let's all drink to them. And here's to the girls who just watch. Aren't they the best? When they get depressed, it's a bottle of scotch. Ooh, sorry. Brilliant singer. I came too late. Another reason not to move. Another vodka stinger. Ah! I'll drink to that. So here's to the girls on the go. Everybody tries. Look into their eyes and you'll see what they know. Everybody dies. The toast to that invincible bunch. The dinosaurs surviving the crunch. Let's hear it for the ladies who lunch. Everybody rise, 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 rise.
I'll drink to that. Winter Rowan, bring in the diva. Thank you so much for that. That was I will fully drink to that right now. My glass isn't as good as yours though. Thank
My
you.
glass is, you know.
I think it's perfect.
Thank you. I know I come in late, but you know what? We're drinking gin. Who cares?
Who cares? I mean, listen. Thank you so much for joining us and for that fantastic performance. And cheers to you. So good to see you. And you take care. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye for now. There you go. We've been waiting for that song since Sondheim's birthday. All right, listen, we are going to bring back Julia Juhas. Julia?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello. Okay.
Are we good?
The internet, listen, who knows? I think we're okay. I think we're okay now. So this is why I work in live theater and not on the computer. Okay, so living room dance parties and exploring different places, different trails and whatnot. That's what's bringing you the joy.
Yeah, feels good. And also another thing, someone from high school created a Facebook group and for all the dance majors throughout the years. And so we've all been reconnecting and everyone's been teaching each other, like teaching different classes through Zoom, like salsa classes, our modern classes. I taught some yoga. It's been a lot of fun. That's cool. Yeah.
And speaking of yoga, Live with Ease has been bringing a lot of comfort and grounding and peace to a lot of people in this time. And we were talking the other day, and I was so excited to tell you this morning. I'm like, I started my day with 10 minutes just feeling the floor with a guided meditation, and it's like you said, it's a practice, and it's something that we need to be patient with ourselves. I think having a lot of patience today,
Absolutely.
At this time is important. And so tell us a bit about the importance of grounding and having that, establishing and keeping that kind of inner stability in such an unstable time that we're in right now.
Well, I think it's such a great, it's important for letting go of like tension that that we gather from anxiety and stress. So grounding is such a great way to unravel that and to move us away from that fight or flight, because especially now, because we're inundated with a lot of stuff that just the information alone causes us a lot of anxiety and stress. And then of course, the losses we've had. So it's a very important time to check in with the grounding so that we can start to kind of ease off some of that holding. Yeah. Yeah. Because when we're under stress, that's the fight or flight is triggered. So we want to kind of massage that relaxation response. And that's where we want to live most of the time, and use fight or flight for an emergency, so that it also gives us the opportunity to work on our inner environment so that, we can manage and react in maybe a more positive way, with more clarity to like adversity and the impact of challenging times or situations. So.
And so when we were talking the other day, so all of our guests that we have on the show that so graciously give of their time and their talents, we were chatting about the best way to kind of start your day is with either like a guided meditation or just taking some time to breathe. Can you kind of talk us through what maybe a good way to start the day off, to set yourself up to have that grounding and to keep that kind of calm? What's a good way for us to start out?
Absolutely. So I think starting with at least 10 minutes a day. So I think first thing, get up 15 minutes earlier than you usually do. And just get right onto your mat or wherever you find your sanctuary or your Zen area in your house or apartment. And just get on the ground and start going to feeling something more tangible, something that you can grasp onto, which is the body's contact with the earth, and really allowing yourself to give over to gravity, surrender the weight of the bones to the earth, those points of contact, so that you can start to ease off some of that, again, that tension. And then, so you can do a quick little body scan. So skull, back of the upper back, the pelvis, the heels. So those are all areas that we can feel. And then from there, maybe bringing your awareness to the breathing and seeing if you can bring it as far down the body as possible into the belly. Feel like you're doing it right now.
I fully am. And it happened when we were talking last week too. You're like, breathe. And I'm like, okay.
Drop it down, all the way down. And a 3-5 count breathing is really nice. So if you breathe in slowly for 3, take a little pause, exhale for 5 counts. And on the exhale, that's where you want to connect the surrender or the letting go. And then you can start to bring in some gentle, subtle movement. And then finishing off with an affirmation. So something that'll give you the boost for the day that you can repeat to yourself. Yeah, so I think it's very important, like anything else we training our voice, training our bodies for dance, whatever it may be. A practice in grounding or meditation or reducing anxiety. Again, it's training, it's practice. So you want to keep that up so that when you're hit with challenges, you have the tools to manage it and deal with it maybe in a more calm way.
that breath right there, that's exactly, I've read a few of those today. And we were talking about, for someone like me, selfishly, who just spins like a hamster on fire all the time. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. And especially at this time when everything is just kind of up in the air and there are so many emotions and feelings and uncertainties, to get yourself to a place where you can even just take that 10 minutes. And for you, the way you explained it to me that was really resonant was it's an investment and it's a practice. And that 10 minutes is an investment in the rest of your day, in all the activities following, and it sets you up to succeed with the tasks that will come at you during the day. And I mean, I only did it once. I'm by no means any sort of anything, but I kept that in mind. And I was like, don't pressure yourself to be perfect at this right now. Just breathe. And I listened, I did a guided meditation and it was nice. And I was like, I'm not going to be perfect at this. And know, you know,
yeah. And know that, like, you know, at the beginning you get excited and you're like, yeah. Oh, it feels good. And then sometimes you get hit with that attitude where you're just like, I don't want to, I'll just let it go this time. But this kind of practice is the kind of practice you want to give yourself a little bit of a push at and say, you know, even if I'm feeling tired and I don't want to do it, it's so useful to just do it. And it, like you said, it's not about being perfect. It's about the commitment, so that you can start to kind of retrain the brain and let's say if we have those negative loops that cause us to react in pretty intense, heightened ways.
Oh, yeah.
If we commit to this healthy habit grounding or just like checking in with ourselves and slowing down, then we have we become better at dealing with.
And so if you were to offer, say, 3 beginning or 3 kind of fundamental beginning movements or steps towards starting to practice mindfulness, a meditation, a grounding, what would you recommend?
So what I was saying earlier is getting on the mat, taking some time to connect your body to the ground. And then something as simple as drawing your legs into your abdomen and rocking side to side, trying that 3-5 count breathing, and try to avoid that urge to want to create any muscular tension or activation in the muscles. The whole point of it is to activate as little as possible. So yeah, drawing the knees into the chest, rocking side to side, resting completely on one side, letting yourself just drop into the earth. Any kind of twisting is so lovely to add into that. And again, keep connecting that breath, that out breath, to the release and the complete surrender. Because so many times we want to feel like we want to feel the working. We want to feel like we're actually doing something. And the challenging thing about this practice is that you feel like you're doing nothing. But in fact, it's quite profound. It's like sometimes they say less is more, right?
Yeah, work smart, not hard.
Well, yeah.
Well, and you have your YouTube channel, Live with Ease. And we can find you on Instagram, Julia Juhas, and @_Live with Ease _. And we will be posting all that on our Facebook group so that people can access the amazing resources that you've made available, and your incredible guidance, and just the beautiful light that you emanate to the world without even trying. Less is more, and you do more with just your being. So thank you for this. And like I said, I'm taking our conversation to heart, and I hope that our viewers will as well, because we can't control a whole lot these days, but what we can control are our reactions and how we treat ourselves and how we invest in ourselves to the best of our ability. So thank you for that knowledge and guidance, and I look forward to practicing the practice and getting in touch with the inner peace and the inner calm.
Yeah, the inner world.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And Julia, thank you so much. You are so lovely, and I'm so grateful that you joined us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Okay, we'll see you soon. Bye. That's Julia Juhas. Check her out on YouTube, Live with Ease. Now, tonight we were supposed to be joined by Alan Lewis, a brilliant actor of stage and screen. We had some technical difficulties, and unfortunately won't be able to be joined by him tonight. And we do apologize to Alan and to our viewers, but we're going to hope to get him on an episode soon. He is just a pillar of knowledge and wisdom, and we're big fans of him here at the show, and hope that we'll be able to make it work, that he can join us in the future. So Alan, if you're watching, we're so sorry about the difficulties with the technical stuff tonight, and we hope you'll get to join us soon. But who is joining us tonight is they are the hosts of a new podcast called Next Stop Isolation Station. They are 2 musical theater gentlemen who are lovely and wonderful, and we are joined by them tonight. We have Mr. J. Sean Elliot and Mr. Tyler Check of Next Stop Isolation Station. Welcome, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Oh, hi.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there.
Jenny, thank you so much for having us on your beautiful show.
Oh, thank you for
all the beautiful voices and messages and booze.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Drink up, girl.
Done. Guys, thank you so much for being here, and congrats on the new podcast and all of the inspiration that you are sharing with all of us. How are you guys finding a bit of light, a bit of joy within all the chaos in the world right now?
Tyler.
Well, I'll say Jay-Sean is all the
I can't
light
wait
that
to
I
hear
need.
what your joy is.
You are my joy, Jay-Sean.
Finally.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he was trying to get that out of me for weeks now since this whole thing began. But yeah, no, I've got to be honest. Like, for me, there's nothing better than like the connections I've been able to make and reach. Even something like this, where just you're able to talk with people and really hear how people are doing and whatnot, and just have those kind of conversations has been huge for me to kind of just keep on going and keep on finding that joy.
Well, do you know what, Jenny?
How about you, Jay-Sean?
I would thank you for your kind inquiry. I honestly, I have to say, you really don't have to look too far to find joy. When the trick is to be in the moment where you are. And right now I'm here with a couple of beautiful friends, and there's even more beautiful friends out there in YouTube land. And I've got some, somewhat creaky but effective technology that's allowing me to connect with you all. And I'm fed and sheltered and well, and clothing. I got clothing under my clothing, but that's where joy lives. So there's a lot of joy here, and it's always there, waiting patiently for you to notice that it's there. And and all of you are deserving of, we're all deserving of experiencing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think at a time like this, perspective is so important, and recognizing and really investing in and appreciating the abundance that we do have. I mean, it's an uncertain time. It's a difficult time, and it's hard to watch the world right now. But like you say, there's a lot to be grateful for, and to focus on those things, and to let those things fuel you and move you to continue to try and put out good into the world. So I really appreciate that perspective that you have, Jay-Sean. And we talked the other day, and it was so inspiring to hear you talk and say exactly what you just said now and shared with all of us. That there is a lot of joy and things to be grateful for, just right exactly where we are. And you said something profound, that it was, we were talking about it being okay to not be okay. And you said it's okay to be, just to be. Which
we're pretty good at that. It's there really isn't that much required. Ultimately, I'm, speaking for myself, I'm a guy sitting in a room, and the rest is a story that I've conjured about it. But the thing is, Tyler and I would have these conversations quite a bit. We spent quite a bit of time together because we work together so darn much. And
it's true. You really do.
we have, we've been really, I felt lucky. He probably resents me, but that's for another podcast. But we lived together quite a bit, and we would have, conversations that we would walk away feeling pretty pleased with ourselves. And we thought, wouldn't it be nice? We always, because Tyler has another wonderful podcast called Let's Grab Coffee.
Yes.
And so we had kind of joked about having a podcast of just our conversations that we thought were that we enjoyed. And when all of this came about, the pandemic, we were talking at the beginning, and it came up again, and it just seemed like the right time to maybe put something out there that talked about perspective, gaining just maybe a different perspective, and talking to a lot of really upbeat people who already have a wonderful perspective. Well, I'm so curious to talk to them and say, well, what are you doing? Like, how is your point of view prepared you for what's happening now?
Well, I think one of the things like I've found, if I can just say, from doing this podcast and talking to those people with that great perspective, is definitely that kind of perspective is a practice 100%, and it's a process. And the more you're able to fill your life and point your perspective to people like Jay-Sean, or people like the people we've chatted with who have that perspective, it helps you to practice that in yourself. And I mean, like Jay-Sean said, we can look at what we're not able to do in the world right now, and not able to go out here and this, that, and all these things, or we can point our attention towards all these beautiful things, the stuff that you're doing here to connect people, and the stuff that so many people, especially in the theater industry right now, are putting out there to, it's all about where you point your, car goes where your eyes go.
You guys are so profound. Jeez. And I know you. How is this even a thing? So Jayshawn, on your website at jayshawn.com, you also have a blog called Now Don't Judge. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. Well, the title gives you a clue, because of course perspective judgment has a lot to do with it. We've got a lot of judgments and a lot of opinions, and that's kind of sitting on top of our joy and happiness like a ton of bricks. And just talking about everything seems to come around for me to being present and being in this ever-loving moment, because as Tyler was saying, if you have, underneath all the thoughts, one of the reasons we wanted to do the podcast was to let people know ultimately that they're okay and they're not alone, and that underneath all those zillions of thoughts of how they're not okay, underneath all of that, they're okay. But we do tend to really, we spend a lot of time, in the past, regretting all of the lousy life choices that we made that got us into this mess. And then we jump to the future to say, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay for all this? And we kind of blip over what's happening right now. And what's happening now is so rich. It's so, there's, and if you're feeling squirrely, and trust me, we talk a lot about feeling squirrely because of the pandemic, but if you're anything like me, we felt squirrely before the pandemic, and we're going to feel pretty squirrely after the pandemic. Probably. It's always something. The mind always comes up with something for you to, that's, the mind keeps you interested that way. So, and what you're going to invest in, but it's really about, and Julia was just saying it beautifully, everything she was prescribing was really about keeping you centered, about keeping you in the moment. And everybody that we talked to in the podcast, in their own way, has been giving us, has been directing us towards that, whether it's Greg Pember talking about how yoga brings him into his body, or Kelly Holliff talking about kindness. Just an act of kindness can bring you presence, or how play. We're creative people. We have a leg up because we're actually, us artist types, have a vested interest in a profession, or in at least a vocation of being creative. Well, what brings you to the moment better than being creative? That's, creation is life, right? That's what creativity is. It's life. And so if you're feeling squirrely, and take a moment and take a self inventory, and just look, like I was saying earlier, and just see how much you have. And you always have everything you need at every moment. Take it, if you have to, take it one moment at a time, and it'll bring you back to where you are, and it will get you out from underneath all the thoughts that are killing us. And that from that vantage point, when you step back, get wide, and try and stay above the battlefield, and that's where you're going to find peace of mind. That's where you're going to find at least clear-headedness. And in times like this, yes, there are challenges. There are a lot of challenges. Do you want to meet that as a clear-headed person or as a lunatic? So, and for me, I literally had to make this decision, because sometimes you think, oh my God, you're a lunatic. So,
can't identify with that at all.
I know, right? So you gotta, if you can get present, and the slogan for the whole pandemic is stay home, but what we really need to stay home is up here. Are you at home, or are you somewhere in the past or somewhere in the future and off on a merry chase?
I love that. I love that. Thank you for that.
Sorry, I just went off on quite a tear there. Tyler, did you have anything you wanted to say? Sorry, we're out of time.
Oh, look at that. Well, actually, Tyler, when we were talking the other day, you brought something really, really interesting up that I think a lot of people can identify with. As performers, as creative people, we are so used to that exchange between either on stage between the actors and an audience, or a conversation in person, or a cabaret that is as an exchange of energy and ideas. And now we're talking in boxes, like we are right now, or like we are in Zoom, and it's like being on the Brady Bunch, or Hollywood Squares, and we were talking about Zoom anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
And tell us about your experience with that, and how you kind of navigate through that, because I think that's something that we, especially as performers, can really identify with.
Yeah, I was really surprised when all this kind of, I'm not a big, I've always been more, before the pandemic, a phone person than if a FaceTime with someone. I like being on the phone. I like conversation. I'm a huge podcast person, obviously, which is people like in your ears and hearing them. And even this, like I made sure to put in the headphones because I just love that. And when we went to this Zoom-based lifestyle that we're all facing right now, it was like strangely vulnerable in a way that I did not expect. Like even right now, like I'm sweating and I'm like wicked, like yeah, totally. And I realized that after anytime I do that, it's because it's so vulnerable. And I've been thinking about it since we chatted, and I think it has something to do with, as artists, we're asked all the time to make our personal life and our professional life kind of one and together. And now more than ever, in the fact that we're doing this chat and we're asked to do all these things in our living room or like downstairs in my basement right now and stuff like that, where it even further blurs the line of when you're able to shut off or when you're able to be a part of that. Because I know, and I think there's a lot of performers who feel this way, I would rather perform for 1,000 people than for 3, because it's a different connection. It's a different thing. And the way we're being asked to do this, the podcast with Jay Sean, for example, has been amazing for that, because I know for myself, I don't think if it was just me, I would be diving into certain conversations, connecting with certain friends again. It's a constant process for me right now of getting back in touch, because there's such a process in catching up with someone, of logging on. And then the end of a Zoom call is always like, I saw this thing that was like, they need to start giving us a button for like wrap up Oscar music for Zoom calls, because they just hang there for so long and no one knows how to end it. It's just, I think calling it and bringing it to light allows all of us to like Jay Sean was saying, be in the present a little bit more, be a little bit more there together, so that we can do that. Because we're all figuring this out as we go.
Yeah. And the comments are, I'm sure, going to reflect the people that widely identify with what you're saying. And I agree, performing in front of a small group is different than a large group. And there's nowhere else to look. There's nowhere to hide. And you've got to make sure that everything's just right. And it's vulnerable. It's a specific kind of invasiveness almost.
Yeah, and I think we've all gotten so, like, we're figuring it out when you go to those events or opening things or whatever, where you get to have those brief little run-ins with people and you just get to catch up for a bit, and there's no pressure on it because you're just passing in space and passing in where you're connecting. And that has shifted because now there's so much prep that goes into any of those things, and it's so much harder to be present. I know for you, I think you do an incredible job of running this show and remaining present and authentically listening in these conversations while you're also trying to run a stream and run a waiting room, run like people outside the waiting room to get back in so that you can run all this. And it's to do that with such grace is so impressive, but there's so much more that goes into a conversation now.
It's a lot, and it's interesting, and they say everything happens for a reason, and that reason may not be a great reason, but we've kind of look at it and see what can we take away from this to make it not for nothing. And I think that's important. And I know talking to you guys really got me thinking about that. And I hope that our viewers take the same thing away. So they can find you on Instagram at Next Stop Isolation Station. Some Carol Channing going on. Isolation Station. Isolation Station, and they can find it on wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to post that in our group. Who do you have coming up on the show before we awkwardly end our brain session?
So awkward.
Yeah, so, oh my God, it's so awkward. Well, we're going to be having Julia McLeod and Mike Cox tomorrow morning. That's going to drop, so you can all subscribe tonight and wake up to that in the morning. Make sure to leave us a 5-star rating and review and whatnot. And then later on, we have David Warwick, we have Jenny Burke, we have lots of amazing people. We just recently sat down with Cameron Francis, who is an incredible performer, but also has relocated his life out to Calgary and was kind of just getting settled and running Barry's out there, Barry's Boot Camp, when this all hit. So we chat about both the physical aspects of being in isolation as well as connecting community. He just established such a community, and then for that to go virtually. So lots of episodes coming up.
Amazing. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us, for sharing your insights, and we look forward to your upcoming episodes of the show. And just, it's so good to see you and speak to you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Jenny.
much.
Thank you, Jenny. Lots of love.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Isolation Station. Why can't I say that? I impersonated Carol Channing once, and now I can't even say my S's properly. Next up, Isolation Station. Next week we're going to be joined by some great folks. We're going to be co-hosting. We have a co-host, which is not a thing, but one of our friends wanted to come hang out, so we said, why not? So Mark Cassius will be joining us next week. We'll also be joined by Sean Wright and Jenny Burke, and we're going to be talking about the Dynasty. That is the open mic musical theater cabaret, which is going to be exciting. We'll also be joined by the Songbird series founders, Fiona Sauter and Jordan, and that's going to be fantastic. Alexis Gordon will be joining us to sing a beautiful song, and of course we have some sign-up performances and some other exciting things up our sleeve, so stay tuned to our Facebook group and our social media outlets to find out who will be joining us next week. But joining us next before our final performance of the night, and she is a powerhouse diva and the best way to throw us into the next 2 weeks, Erica Peck will be joining us in just a little bit. But right now we are joined by another belting diva superstar, Ms. Jillian Robinson. Hi, Jillian.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm going to try this again so that your everything syncs up. Okay.
Good. Check 1 2.
Check 1 2.
Good.
The internet is just having a time tonight. It's not me, I swear. It's me. Listen, how are you keeping the balance and keeping the inner peace going these days?
Yeah, I love what Julia and Jay Sean and Tyler have been saying about staying grounded, being present, and really this need to kind of go back to the basics of training and of life even. So yeah, it's interesting just hearing those folks speak too. I feel like all the things that I've been doing have kind of been back to basics-esque, and it feels really good in a sense to kind of slow down and sink into being present and all that. And like I'm quarantining with my brother, my sister-in-law, and my little 19-month-old nephew. So I'm constantly surrounded by observations from a baby's point of view, which is like so neat too. It like forces you to recognize things that you necessarily the time to slow down to. I did a fitness challenge with Soul Fuel Fitness. It's a boutique in Toronto. Again, that kind of helped go inside and also be physically active. Be more acquainted with my body. I'm a part of a couple amazing play reading groups.
Oh, good.
That whole Zoom chat database is blowing up. And so Quarantine Readers, which I can thank Heart House for both of these connections, actually, both of these groups. Stefan Ermel, who was Keys 2 in Legally Blonde, him and a coworker set up a play reading platform called Quarantine Readers. So we meet every Saturday at 2 p.m. and we've been reading works, and it's actually advancing to becoming a little bit more professional and prepared too, which is super cool.
Amazing.
And then a couple of my colleagues or friends that I met through Oh What a Lovely War at Heart House, they're York grads, so they are catapulting their new theater company called the Cup of Hemlock Theater. And every Friday night, we're having a panel discussion of the Shakespeare productions that Stratford is releasing. So I've been kind of a semi-regular panelist for that. And so it gives us all an opportunity to kind of share a platform to talk about Shakespeare, which again is taking us back to the roots of things. So yeah, I've been like keeping busy and expanding, being an extrovert, you know, having the opportunity to expand our networks even virtually is so awesome. Like the people I'm meeting, I don't know if I would have met them if it weren't for us kind of having to stay home and branch out by other means, right? So yeah.
Well, good on you for making the most of it and soaking up every opportunity you can. That's very you, Jillian. I'm very proud of you. So what are you going to sing for us tonight? You got it. You got it. What are you going to do for us tonight?
So I'm going to do As If We Never Said Goodbye from Sunset Boulevard. Again, this is a piece I love to kind of go back to when there's change happening, when especially as we've talked about today, our world is in so much turmoil for so many different in so many different realms. So this one kind of as a person and as an artist, it really grounds me and hits home, and I hopefully we'll all be able to create together in person again. And so this song kind of reminds me that we will all reunite again.
Beautiful. All right, Jillian Robinson, take it away.
I don't know why I'm frightened. I know my way around here. The cardboard trees, the painted seas, the sounds here. Yes, a world to rediscover. But I'm not in any hurry. And I need a moment. The whispered conversations in overcrowded hallways. The atmosphere as thrilling here as always. Feel the early morning madness. Feel the magic in the making. Why everything's as if we never said goodbye. I spent so many mornings just trying to resist you. I'm trembling now, can't know how I've missed you. Miss this fairy tale adventure in this ever-spinning playground. We were young together. I loved makeup. The lights already burning. Not long until the cameras will start turning. And the early morning madness and the magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. I don't want to be alone. That's all in the past. This world's waited long enough. I've come home at last. And this time will be bigger and brighter than
it always. So much to say, not just today, but always. We'll have early morning madness. We'll have magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. We taught the world new ways to dream.
Kicking it with the shadow vowel at the end. Jillian Robinson. Girl, look at you getting your life. That was awesome. You were so
Thank
kick-ass.
Thank you. In my garage stage, yeah.
Hey, listen,
Literally all the
glamour.
world's a stage, quite literally.
Yes, absolutely. You are living that life for sure. Girl, thank you for sharing that and all the best with all of the things you're doing. It sounds like you're busier now.
I am. I
With all
really
of these
am.
things.
I'm not complaining, but yeah, it's crazy. A good crazy, yeah.
Good. Hey, that's the best kind of crazy. And listen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your beautiful voice and stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, and you as well.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, what a night. Again, we want to thank all our guests that were here tonight, and stay tuned for all of the resources of everything we talked about tonight, all the guests that we had, and stay tuned for who will be joining us on our next episode on the 15th. And whoop, I just got an email because I'm unprofessional. All right, you guys, I want to bring on our final performance of the night. She is a badass entrepreneur, superstar, rock star, and I'm a huge fan, and she's the loveliest. Ladies and gentlemen, Erica Peck. Hi.
Oh.
Thanks so much for being on the show tonight. It's so good to have you here.
Having me. Thanks. I feel pressure. I'm the big finish. Kelly Hollick brought the hair. It was like, this is so much to live up to, but here we are.
Hey, you got the hair and the rock. I have full faith. I am not even a little bit stressed about it. So don't you're in good company. You're well loved here. So
well, happy to be here.
Nice. So how are you finding balance, finding a bit of light in the world right now?
Well, I think this weekend not included because it's a whole other, I feel like it's a whole other chapter.
Yeah.
But prior to, another shift in our consciousness, hopefully, a big one for me has been running, which I know it sounds so obnoxious and so crazy.
No, I think it makes sense. That makes sense to me.
And this is the thing is that so we are fortunate enough to own a house in Stratford. Well, the bank owns it. I mean, we pay whatever. Us plebes just. But anyways, so we have a house in Stratford in an apartment in Toronto. And it just, I was supposed to be doing a gig out here. So we feel really lucky to have a bit more space, a bit more breathing room. And so we took about I say we, my husband is here as well. We took about 4 days and just kind of did nothing. And then pretty much right away, I was like, I don't want to come out of this poorer and also lonelier, but also less happy with myself. So I want to be able to go to bed tired. That's like a big thing for me. That's kind of been the big one, is that at least if I don't do anything else the whole day, I know that I ran. I sort of set a little goal, and then we do it. And, it's sometimes I'm sweaty, and it's also like allowing me to be a woman about town here in Stratford. I see half the actors who live here, except I'm located they look cute and like they're a cute little.
No,
Why
I have seen you, and you look plenty cute.
I'm very sweaty most of the time when you see
Yeah.
me, but it's okay.
Same. I mean, I don't even think I'd brush my hair half the time. And when the world allows us, we should social distance run. I probably won't be able to keep up to you, but it's a
Well, I
goal.
was thinking about it might be cool to like put together a little thing, and everyone just chips in like $20 and we pick a charity, and then people can we pick like a day, and people can kind of just run around town, but like we know that we're in it, so we all like wave to each other and like cheer each other on. I don't know. I'll get back to you on it.
I love it.
It's like it's just a nonsense glitter den in here all the time. At all times.
Listen, and that is why I adore you so much. The factory never closes. It never closes.
How ironic you say that, because I'm seemingly always in some production of Kinky Boots. So
It's like I did my research. It's like I know you. And speaking of factories and never stopping, you've got Wild Thing Vintage.
yeah, it's such a funny thing because I started doing this very early in my career. Like I think the second or third show I ever did, I started this because I don't really love having like a ton of free time. I get the SADs. So
I can't identify it all.
And once we're in a show, like once we've learned the show,
Mhm.
you kind of are free all day, and then you're just like, there's the gym and like whatever you have to do to be an adult, but like let's be real, it doesn't take your whole day. And so I just sort of needed something else to keep me busy, and some fellow ladies in the business, in the entertainment business, encouraged me to try selling vintage. I love like fashion and style and color, and obviously behind me is just a weird combination of all the things that.
No, I love it. I love it.
Anyways, it just sort of I never realized that it would become something in our business that people kind of knew me for, which is I'm very honored, and it's lovely.
You styled my Now cover. That was all you. I still have that outfit in my closet. I gotta give it back to you. I wear it all the time. Who are we kidding? I walk around in that dress. Let's be honest.
It's just one of those things where like I really think I value, at least for myself, I love what we do. I love like being a professional actor and creating and being an artist, but I also think that it's very, very important to me to have a healthier circle around me than just one profession, because variety is the spice of life, and really when we get out on stage and we play people, we don't play other actors generally. Although my husband has like a bit about every time I sing a song that's like aware of itself musical theater wise, he's like, is this from that show that knows it's a show? And he's referring to Tyler. But anyways, so it's just
well done, Robin. Well done.
It's been this thing that's like really helped me become and feel like a part of the city in Toronto, and connected me with like a whole other side and world of artists, all the same, but different mediums. Yeah.
I love that. And the pieces you have are gorgeous. I'm such a fan.
Thank you.
So people can check out your stuff right here on Instagram.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you.
Actually, it's mostly other women modeling for me who are usually taller. It's a thing. But yes, that's me, and they're all actresses as well. I'm sure you'll recognize people if you check it out and say hi.
There you go. And you are going to close out this show tonight for us. You're going to sing us out into the world for another 2 weeks. What are you gonna close it down with tonight, Erica?
Well, I struggled a little bit because like I said, it's been a pretty heavy weekend. And I am somebody who had a really unique experience. I got to sing with a gospel choir, a Seventh-day Adventist and Baptist gospel choir called Sharon Riley and Faith Corral. And it was the first experience I ever had that you could be at home and not see anybody who was representing your culture. Because it was the first time in my whole life I had been, in Toronto, in Ontario, and been in rooms of only people from the Black community. And it was an incredibly eye-opening experience. And I struggle right now with what to say because really we should be listening. And so I was like, God, what do I sing that can encompass the feeling of frustration and also hope? But I didn't want to be preachy, so I'm gonna sing a rock song. Surprise, surprise, everybody! And I think it just encapsulates feeling like you don't know what to say when you want to say something and you care. So, anyways, that's it. Should we just do it?
Let's just do it. Ladies and gentlemen, closing us up for the night. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are so glad to spend the night with you. And that sounded wrong. We're so glad to have you here joining us
Or
this evening.
right.
Or very right. Spoken like two ladies who have done Rocky Horror too many times. Is there a such thing? There's never too many times.
Well, I don't know. I might find out. We'll see.
All right, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Erica Peck, take us home.
All right. Do-do. 25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. I realized quickly when I knew I should that the world was made up of this brotherhood of man, for whatever that means. And I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. So I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, 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 hey. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, 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 25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination.